Alright, so welcome to Amazon Connect series. So today we are talking about how to integrate your Lambda function with your Amazon Connect instance and then how to integrate it with contact flows. So I'll quickly jump right into it. So I'm going to start by first creating my Lambda function. So I'll search for Lambda. If you are new to Lambda functions and want to understand Lambda functions, I have a quick video on the channel that you can check out. Lambda function is pretty much a serverless service, compute service that allows you to run your logic. It pretty much works only when you invoke your Lambda function. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to create a function. If you are new, as I said, you can check my tutorial on Lambda functions out and then you'll be good to go. Yeah. Select Python as the runtime and then I'll simply create a function. So now our Lambda function is ready. I have a very simple Lambda code that I'm going to use for this test. So all that I'm doing is I'm saying that I have this Lambda code, and then in the code, in our contact flow, we are going to get a customer ID from our user. The user calls him, enters a customer ID, and then I'm doing just a simple lookup. In production, you probably have an actual database. For this tutorial, I just have a simple customer data set of a sort that includes the customer ID. And I'm saying based off the customer ID the customer enters, I'll return the customer info, then I'll probably play it back to the customer. So this is my dummy or simple Lambda function. I'm just going to deploy it. Now, to connect, so to associate your Lambda function to your Amazon Connect, for you to be able to use it, you first have to attach the Lambda functions to your Amazon Connect instance. So you do that by just coming into your instance settings, come to flows, select Lambda, and then click on the drop down, and then you see your Lambda function name. So this is my customer lookup Lambda. The use case, I'll just have it as invoke Lambda, and I'll click on this. So now my Lambda has been associated with my Amazon Connect instance. So what I can do now is to go into my Amazon Connect instance, and then I'll show you guys how to quickly associate this with a flow. Yeah, if you are new to this Amazon Connect series, I have a whole series on video step-by-step guide how to get in there, create your instance and all. But this is it. So in Amazon Connect instance, I'm just going to create a very simple flow that we can work with. There's going to be a simple inbound flow. So let me do Lambda integration. So as usual, as I said, I'm going to set my login. So for this, in my flow, all that I need is, remember in a Lambda function, I am getting this attribute, right? Customer ID. That is what I'm going to look up for. So in my contact flow, I'm just going to say have a store customer input block. That will pretty much get an input from the customer, and then I'll work with this. So the prompt is going to be just simple text to speech. Please enter your customer ID. Confirm. And then I'm going to store whatever they enter as a contact attribute. Again, contact attribute aside. Contact attribute, as I explained the last time, is pretty much a way for us to store our values, right? Something similar as variable. So I'm going to call it this. And then I will set it dynamically. And then I'm going to select system. And then my value will come in from our store customer input. So this is it. And after this, I'm going to invoke my Lambda function using the Lambda block. So AWS Lambda. So this is it. So this is my Lambda. So if I come into my Lambda function, we have this, and then I'm returning everything as a simple string mapping. So I'm going to work with the same stuff. So in here, this is my lambda. I'm going to then select the lambda. So you see the lambda that is associated with the instance, so I can see it. I'll click on confirm. And now I want just a simple play prompt. That will play my message. Yeah, that will basically play my message. Or before the play prompt, let me just set it as attribute so that those of us who are new won't get confused. So I'm going to set all the values that is coming in from my lambda function as attributes. And after that, I'll show you guys when we go through the logs. So the first attribute I'm going to add, that is the first value we are getting from our lambda. One of the values is the customer name. So I'll have to play back the customer name to our customer. And then to do that, I can select dynamically. Since this is going to come from a lambda function, then I'll put in the key here. So the key is the same way the lambda function is returning it. So if you look into your lambda function code, the lambda function returns the customer name as this and this key. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play the account here also. Then I'll leave the rest to you guys. Just try it with the other two fields and then let me know. Drop a comment on if you're able to achieve it. If you have questions, as usual, I'm always readily available to provide assistance and help. So I'm going to do this too for now. Just modify yours and then let me know how yours goes. So I'm going to do this too. And then in my play prompts, that's going to be just like a confirmation message. So I'm going to say, hello. Then I'll reference my attributes, right? So I'm going to have it as $.attributes. If you are new, please check our full contact flow class and you understand some of these things. Customer name. Hello. So I'm saying hello, the customer name. Your account type S. So like the account there, that is going to be in a value of $.attributes. Because I'm storing it as a user-defined value, that's why I'm able to access it this way. Dot. What was the key again? Account here. So this is just a simple message. You can modify it however you want it. So this is pretty much how you integrate your Lambda functions with this. I'm going to disconnect and then we'll quickly place a dummy test call into our flow. Again, so all that I'm doing is I've added my Lambda function, but my Lambda function expects a value from my contact flow, which is your customer ID. So that's what I've set it up. And then in my contact flow, I've set the customer ID as a contact attribute, which is pretty much taking in the stored customer input, whatever value the customer entered. Then it invokes our Lambda, then it places back to us. So I'm going to publish my contact flow and then give it a quick test. Oops, flow creation error. Oh, sorry. I didn't save my prompt. Again, let me just come in here. Please enter my I think this now should work. So I'm going to test by switching my phone number to point to our new flow. Select it, save. Just give our number a test call. Hopefully you guys are able to hear it. Try and then work with this ID. 1003.
Please enter your customer ID.
So I've entered this.
Hello, Mike Davis. Your account type is 1003.
Yep, so that's pretty much what came in was the name. And then what else am I playing in my flow? I had something weird. Or was it probably a Lambda code issue? Oops. So see what I was doing in here. For the account here, I had it set to the store customer input again instead of selecting my actual Lambda. That's a good one. So I'm just going to have it like this. Then test call again. This time around, I'm going to select a new ID. I'm going to do 1004.
Please enter your customer ID. Hello, Emily Chen. Your account type is standard.
Good. So this is how, guys, you can easily and simply associate Lambda functions in your Amazon Connect contact flow. Thank you so much for watching. There is more coming up as part of our series. Please do all to like, subscribe to the channel, and let's see in the next video.